All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. So you are here, and what we're going to talk about today is how to scale slow and make money fast. And I'm really excited because I'm actually here with one of my favorites. We are featuring the Tamika Auwai, who has this lovely last name.
You got it.
There are so many things that I adore about Tamika, and I want to take a moment to introduce both of us. So if you're new to us, you know, who are these gals? Why are we talking? But I'm Laura, right, with Epic at Sales, and my favorite thing is to actually help women scale their business from a place of strength so you can actually have everything you desire. And why we have the lovely, fabulous, amazing Tamika, who, P.S., stylish. I mean, seriously, you guys need to check out what she does.
Thank you.
We have her here because actually Tamika and I have known each other for a little bit of time. I think 2, maybe 3 years now, something
maybe
along
3. I think it's 3. Yep.
We can officially say it. And so in entrepreneur time, that's like 27 years. But I have watched.
We're actually married.
Yeah, we fully are.
Pretty much married.
I have known Tamika and watched her do brilliant, brilliant things. But what's been the most fun is watching the last about almost year radical transformation that is causing like ease, and you went on vacation, you're about to go away again next week, and also the money. And what I love about Tamika is in this brilliant space of done for you agency work as well as her own side of business. So I want you to just introduce yourself, Tamika. Tell everybody who you are, your magic, your brilliance, and then let's dive in a little bit and talk about what you've done that's actually created a scalable business. So we're talking about ease and strength at the same time, but also money.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to, but first, Shimmy. I'm really excited for us to have this conversation, Laura. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Tamika Auwai, the founder and chief creatrix at Arisha Creative Corp. We are a done-for-you marketing agency that serves online coaches, consultants, and practitioners, and we really help our clients to focus on content marketing that drives business, that generates amazing ready-to-buy leads, buyers, and also it works, right? There's a lot to be said about content marketing, a lot to be said about funnels and all those good things and all the info that people know is required to build a know, like, and trust factor online. And there's also a really big gap for a lot of people. People can be putting out information, putting out blogs, putting out videos, putting out funnels, all the things, and getting like a big giant goose egg, you know, back in kind. So we flip all that. We help our clients to create all the content that is required to really serve a growing, healthy, growing community, to make it really easy for them to put out group programs, courses, that kind of thing, and have people like raising their hand, ready to jump in and work with them. We essentially help our clients to scale in a different way than Laura does, which is why we have such an affinity and love for each other. But we help our clients create all the leads, all the ready-to-buy buyers through content marketing, you know, so they have people ready to say yes. Really thriving communities, right?
It's the best thing ever. And here's what Tamika's not saying that I think is really important. She partners energetic principles with the practical. And this is actually something, this again was one of our like match made in heaven moments of, yes, we get each other. I do the same thing with the side of building your business, scaling your business, and selling. We talk about all the energetics, all the internal stuff, all the magic, and then all the practical pieces. And why Tamika is able to say with such confidence the work that she does works is because she helps you, and she also uses all of the energetic tools to make all the practical tools work, because one without the other, it's kind of like limping along. Like, you can limp along doing only energetic principles and hope some things will work and some things won't, but you can limp along. You can get the great strategy and you'll probably limp along, maybe a little faster because the strategic part is there. But when you put the two together, lift off. And that's actually what you create.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the genius behind the genius. It's strategy, but what I really do for my clients, what the secret superpower is really being able to intuitively read their energy, read into the energy of their communities and make that match. So it's not just what you're saying and who you're saying it to, but there is a requirement that it is all energetically aligned. The way that you put yourself out there, the way that you connect with your community, just the resonance that you're creating in everything that you do and put out in the world, there needs to be an alignment. It's like, you know, to give a basic example, it's like you have the funnel is ready, and for whatever reason, it just feels off. Like something feels off in terms of, you know, what you're offering in that simple little PDF. It's not going to work. And, you know, there's all these little examples that I see time and time again with our clients that if the energy isn't there with something that we're doing, whatever, it might be a program that they've put out that has launched successfully time and time again, and I'm talking successful to the tune of like even 6 and 7 figures. If something is energetically off in this particular, you know, launch and instance, it's not going to work. So the little thing that I do underneath it all is really reading energy and being able to connect my clients and their communities and the right message at the right time in the right way, so that it all feels like yes, 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 all around. And then it's a win-win-win all around too.
And Tamika, this leads perfectly to what we're going to talk about today, because doing the right thing in the right order, right?
Yeah.
Right. It just happens.
What's aligned? Right. Yeah, exactly. Like what's aligned for right now, you know?
This is, so I want to talk about, we've again known each other for a while, but we decided to work together again just recently, which I just said just recently, which was a year ago.
It's a year ago, I know, crazy.
My time goes crazy. And I remember you came to me and you said, here's what I want to do. I want to do this. 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 And then I said, yes. And
I'm going to even correct you, because I came to you and I said, hey, Laura, guess what? I have found the thing, the way, the purpose. Everything's amazing. I just booked, you know, $40,000 worth of business in like 2 days without doing anything. P.S. It was like, you know, energetic doing, but without doing anything. And I'm like, and now let's make a retreat and let's have a group program and let's do all these things.
And that's when I said, how about if we build on strength? Because what Tamika encountered is what I actually encounter with most of my clients. We do something that works successfully, and we decide that we want to maximize and scale it and go. And what I find is a lot of people, you may have even experienced this yourself, is you start to go and expand on something, but what you're expanding on isn't stable or strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would also say too, for those of us who are like energetically sensitive as well, it can feel like, oh my gosh, I'm finally aligned, you know, I'm finally aligned. So let me capitalize on all this giant, you know, massive alignment and go and do all the things. And along the way, what we do is put ourselves, you know, if we don't hire Laura, if we don't work with Laura, what we do, I mean, it's a pattern. I've done it before, right? So what we do is then in the throwing all the other things, you know, into the mix without actually knowing what's aligned and what makes sense, we pull ourselves back out of that alignment, and then things stop working. Energy, you know, zapped out, and it becomes a hot mess.
Yeah, and it's not fun, and it doesn't make money. So what we did instead was we looked at all the pieces of what Tamika wanted to do. And here's what's actually really fun. We're in process of starting to build some of those other things, but what we did differently, and this is what I recommend to all of my clients, and P.S., it's unique and different for every single one. The many things that Tamika wanted, for some persons, we might have started this one and then that one, but for Tamika, what I could see very clearly was the agency side of her business. If we could take what she was doing and not just say it works, but like make it rock solid, right? Instead of like, just because we've done this before where we've tried something, we've sold something, it's working, it's great, and it's time to move on. Most people want to move on faster than it's time. So what we did instead was we stepped back.
Yes.
And we built with a slower progression. I even remember, I'm like, because I think it was pretty darn close around this time last year when we were talking about, what if you just brought on one more client? And I feel her being like, I don't want to do that.
The quick start in me was like, what? One client? That's lazy.
And what I could also hear was going on was, what if I don't make money? Or how does this keep making money? So what we did instead was my epic scale process, which I teach all the time. And P.S. I've popped or will pop a link. I don't know where the link is. I can't figure out do my technology.
The link will be somewhere and you need to get it, right?
The link will be in here, but it's epicatsales.com/scale. we did this with Tamika. What we figured out was we tested something, and that's really what you were doing when you filled your agency. It was a test. It felt like it was a rock solid thing, and yet it was a test. And we looked at how can you continue to make money and actually refine this so that it becomes so solid that you can step up and scale the rest of the way. And so what have you created in the last, it's probably been about officially like 8 or 9 months, but what have you created in this time that has helped you feel like you know what you're doing, you're confident, and you're in that space to be ready to grow?
Yeah, I mean, really, you're right. It's like getting paid to sort of figure out what the actual model is. Where I started and the agency offer that we started with is very different. I mean, it's not night and day, but it's quite different than when we started. I made so many progressions around, like, what does the team look like? How are we actually delivering the service? What are our back-end processes going to look like? And the amazing thing was, like, I generated like a healthy 6 figures figuring all this out. And today, and today, and then today, it's, as I look into 2019 and look the rest of the year in 2019, I'm very clear on what my clients really need. I'm very clear on what my genius is. I'm very clear on why they hire me. And so it's really interesting because, like, sales it's not sales. It's just not. It's, here's the conversation. Here's how we fit together. Here's how we partner together and move forward. And it's become, like breathing. It's, when you have that initial, when I hired Laura the first time out, it was really to talk about my sales conversation, right? And it's so funny that now, 3 years later, it's like, what sales conversation? Like, they, you know what I mean? It's just a conversation. It's how can we partner together, and how can we, help our clients with their goals. But that, like, the last 8 months has really been around refining how we serve and figuring out a little bit of what doesn't work. And the really cool thing about it, because I didn't go and like blow up the business, by loading in like all these clients and literally burning myself out being crazy, there was an opportunity to like always course correct with ease and grace and just in a really easy way. And we never got into that place of, oh my gosh, it's so hectic or crazy, or never got to the place of, and I think this happens for a lot of people too, where you take on a lot of clients in the name of trying to figure out what works, and you end up not serving people, the way that you truly want to. And that's never happened with us, even in cases where it's like, okay, we're not a perfect fit. It's been with so much love, and it's just, we're not a perfect fit, instead of, oh my God, this was, a nightmare and we all hate each other now, which I think happens on both ends when people are really trying to scale too fast.
Yeah. And I also want everyone to hear there was no feast and famine during this time. And this is what I see 99% of the time when people come my way, when they want to grow and scale, is that it recreates feast and famine, because you, especially when you have a done for you agency inside of your business model, or even if you have like a primary program and a few other programs, is that we fill one up, we think it's good, and we go fill up another thing. And what happens is one thing might kind of break a little bit. And because we're entrepreneurs, every single thing is testing, right? And what you got to have was something entirely different. You were able to grow with a pace. There was never a famine moment. This is feasting all the time. This is feasting in a place where you're not overindulging, but you can still do whatever you want. Because I think that's another thing that happens is people get really wound up when you're wanting to scale, where it's like, let's bring it all in, and then you have to then go deliver all of it. So you've had a much different experience, right? You've been able to see money coming in, adapt, adjust. I'm going to go ahead and say, I think all of your clients are satisfied. Like, even if something was non-ideal, they weren't having a non-ideal experience.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and so much of what we do is experimentation and figuring things out, and it just having the spaciousness, not being overloaded with clients, has allowed me to really be in experimentation with my clients. And the cool thing about it too, I mean, I originally was like, yes, we'll grow the agency like really, really fast and all the things, and big team and giant team. And I realized instead that I actually prefer the boutique experience, being able to get, at this point, being able to give my clients, all of me, and I'll have a couple, spots open when I have them open. And when I'm ready to scale, it will probably look like, some duplication, some team, and we'll talk about that, in our VIP day in a few weeks. And we'll talk about what that looks like, for 2019. But I'm not in the space of, oh my goodness, I better, say yes to every single person who wants to work with me right now and, blow up my calendar and, not be able to deliver to the level that I want to deliver. I got to learn so much about what feels good in terms of delivery for me and to be able to give the experience that I really want my clients to have as well. And you're right, that has made all of the difference. That's why, like I'm literally just starting with kind of outward marketing. It's all you know what I mean? So, and that, and so that I will toot my horn a little bit in the sense that it has been, like toot toot, it has been, and that level of growth without having to do like any kind of massive launch, without having to be on Facebook 24/7, although we will be doing that because that's what we tell our clients to do.
Next level.
Next level, right? But this has been a referral, a little bit of magic in there too, but a referral driven business in a really short time because the numbers were not crazy. Like if I was saying I'm going to take on, 50 clients, of course that would be a lot more churning. But I mean, really and truly, it's been maybe 12 clients that I've worked with, in various capacities. And now we're at the point where we have, 7 retainer clients and, we'll have a couple of spots that may open up in August, but like, it feels solid. It feels good. And I'm not in the space of needing to go and hustle up a bunch of people, and do a bunch of crazy sales calls, to try to fill spots because it was scaling smart and not, out of control.
Yeah. And I want you guys to hear something too about what Tamika is saying, because this is a primary feature that I do with scaling. Almost everyone teaches you sell the little program, the little amounts, and then you upsell into your bigger program, and then you've scaled, and then you upsell the other thing. What we did differently, and what I recommend doing for almost every single person, and again, it's a different thing for each person, but for Tamika specifically, we went with selling basically to her midline. This is a high ticket offer for long-term support. And by selling to that, she could give actually all the high attention. Just think about like the difference. I like to always say this, like, if you want to make $100,000, you could sell $1,100 things. Does math work? I don't know, but
something like that.
You get where I'm going. But you have to sell a lot of small things in order to hit a number. It's a much easier way to go. And just please hear me. I know sometimes the mindset thing can go, no, it's not, Laura, but it really is. It is easier to sell high ticket. And also when you sell high ticket, you have an ability to give a higher level of experience. And then from this vantage point, this is exactly where Tamika is right now. We're starting to look from this beautiful space. What is a downsell? What do some people need before they become ready for this? Yeah. And not just, like that's a good scale, but now we're actually even looking at, okay, is agency in its own little bubble? What comes next? Like
what other fun things are there? Exactly, which is so fun. And I will say that there is this very interesting thing that happens when you hang out with Laura long enough. And I remember in our mastermind, I think it was the January one, and everyone was talking about our, difficulty wrapping our head around selling the small thing.
It's true.
Because you get really used to the ease at which, you can offer a high ticket offer and deliver on it. And it's not that we, of course, we're being silly. Like, it's not that we can't deliver something at a smaller scope, but we get so used to and so jazzed up by delivering at a really high level that it is literally like breathing, and it is a paradigm shift. Because you're right. So many people lead in with the smaller thing first. And, they've got to do a lot of community building, a lot of, there's, and in fact, this is when I recommend a lot of people go chat with Laura too, when we start talking about their content plan. And I'm like, okay, so what are we trying to sell here? And they're like, I want to sell this low ticket thing. And I'm like, okay, it's great. It sounds amazing. And I also know that they're not going to have the income to run the marketing team that they need to run to be able to consistently, like they're going to end up in launch mode. They're going to end up in feast and famine mode. Which is no fun. So I'm often like, why don't you focus on, doing some high ticket things first? Let's get you like a nice appointment funnel in place first. And then we can layer on because when you have a high ticket way, a premium way of serving people, it makes a lot of things work. It creates that real stability and you don't need to go out and get, in fact, if you're doing it properly, you can't get, a zillion people into that thing. It's like, how can I serve small number of people really, really well. And then, with that dialed in, then I can do all the cool things. So I'm excited to be thinking about all the cool things that are next.
I know. This is the best part. So what you're probably thinking is Tamika's success story is freaking amazing. It's wonderful, just like her. And it's actually, I want to say this with love, it's not an uncommon story. Like, this is attainable for any person who is in business, especially service-based businesses. And I have a special place in my heart for everyone who delivers, you know, content marketing, web design, project management, virtual assistant services, coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, those of us who are out there to be leaders and to change the world. My mission is actually to help them make money so they can do what they want. And I know you share that mission as well, Tamika, which is very important. But the how you go about it, the order in which you do things, can allow it to be a place of ease, enjoyment, and money. Or it can be hustle and craze and sometimes money, but sometimes not. And what I want to encourage you to do is to check out my Epic Scale guide, because in the Epic Scale guide, I'm going to show you exactly what we did with Tamika that let her test and make money and refine, because you don't have to have one or the other. A lot of people are out there trying it out, testing it out, and if it doesn't work, there's no money. I want to show you actually how you can test things and make money and make it from a place of stability and strength. So my hope is that you will be inspired by what Tamika has shared with you, see some of yourself inside of her, and if you need her, check her out. I'm serious, because full disclosure, Tamika won me over. I knew the moment I was ready for funnels, there was no one else I would choose. And so I jumped into your corner because you bring magic and you bring practicality, and that's what we do together. But if you want to know exactly how to scale your business so that you can have ease, flow, and money, because I think there's so much out there where it's either go easy, go at a pace that feels good, and okay, you'll make money or not, or there's hustle your ass off to make the big money. I want to show you how to make big money with ease and flow. And with that stability, we can go build whatever you want. So my hope is that you'll go ahead and check out the guide. Go check it out, because it's full of content and amazing goodness. And if you have questions, please, please, please hop on a call with me. I'm like one of those crazy accessible people where I actually like to talk to people, and no high pressure sales, just really about service and support. And with that, Tamika, thank you so much for coming here. I've just really enjoyed our time together.
Always, always, always my pleasure. Thank you. Shimmies.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.